Hey guys, thank you very much for joining in. Today I have couple topics for you. I usually do one topic and then I go really deep into the topic. This time it will be different. I will have four different topics, and then there will be still time for your questions at the end. So the today's topics will be the mysterious Rodne Cislo, what it is and how to get it. Then I'll talk about the approval process, how it works at the Ministry of the Interior. So for you to know what to expect when you submit an application, so what happens at the Ministry of the Interior or at the embassy. Then I will talk about invitation letter. That will be a third topic. And I will also talk about extension of the employee card and what documents are needed. So stay with me and let's start with the Rodne Cislo. So the mysterious Rodne Cislo, birth number, and how to get it and what it is. So first of all, Rodne Cislo, so-called birth number, is something like social security number in the US. It's a special number unique for every citizen of the Czech Republic. So when you get born, you will get assigned this Rodne Cislo, which consists from 10 digits. First 6 digits are related to the date where you're born. So it's the first 2 digits are the year where you were born. The second 2 digits are the month where you're born, and the last 2 digits are the day where you're born. So I was born on 25th of January 87. So my Rodne Cislo starts 87/01/25, like the year, month, and day. And then you have slash, and behind the slash there you have other 4 digits, which are just random digits, making sure that no two people have the same number. So that's like the technical thing, what it is. As for what we use it for, it's kind of like identification number of yours. So if you go to a bank and you tell them your birth number, your Rodne Cislo, they will be able to find all your records and in all the different databases of debt, whatever, how many debts you had, and like all the information about you. If you go to any authorities, like official authorities, municipality, any offices, then based on the Rodne Cislo, they can also find all the information about you. So it's like a unique number for every person, and all the information are stored somewhere, and all the information about you as a person based on this Rodne Cislo. If you're a foreigner, the Ministry of the Interior should officially issue the birth number, the Rodne Cislo, along with your long-term visa or long-term residence permit. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. There is not much of a logic behind that, because with some clients, we've worked with over 9,000 clients, I believe, in the last 10 years. And some of them got the Rodne Cislo right away. When we were picking up the residence permit or residence certificate, whatever, they got the Rodne Cislo already. Some of them got it after a couple of weeks. Some of them got it after a couple of months. Some of them never got it. So there is probably some logic behind that, but I don't know much about that logic. One thing is that it also depends on the officer. They need to kind of request the number, and if they don't do that, you will never get the number. Second thing is that there might be some information missing, or there might be some mistake in the document. For example, they need to know before they can issue your Rodne Cislo, your birth number, they need to know everything about you. So your full name, full date of birth. If you changed your name, so they need to know also the previous names you had. And the same about your parents. So for example, if you only mark down the current name of your mother, but you don't write down her maiden name, that might be a problem also for the ministry to issue the Rodne Cislo. So sometimes it's just like laziness or sloppiness of the ministry and their officers. Sometimes there are also potential problems that some of the pieces of the information is missing. As for if you need really the Rodne Cislo, yeah, honestly, not really. Because sometimes some authorities ask you about that, but usually they can work around that. And if you don't have it, they can anyway process you. Like if you're buying a car, often what happens is that someone asks you about Rodne Cislo, if you have it or not. And they make it seem like if you don't have Rodne Cislo, you cannot register the car. That might have been true like years ago, 10 years ago, maybe when we were starting with the business. I know that there were rules like that, but now it doesn't really matter. So you don't really need Rodne Cislo for anything. Unless there are some special circumstances. But if you want to have it, or if you were waiting for it, or you just want to get it and you were not issued it along with your residence permit application, you can request it separately. Either you just send a letter or like a special form to the ministry with all the information which might be missing and request like faster processing of it, or even if you're not resident of the Czech Republic. For example, you're an EU citizen, you've never get the registration certificate or the temporary residence certificate. You can still, in theory, request the Rodne Cislo. In the case, you need to justify why you need it. So you need to make some application and explain, okay, for example, my daughter's school is requesting that, otherwise they will not take her into the school. So you need to have some serious reason to request the Rodne Cislo, but you can do it. I'll go to the next topics, but I've seen some comments here. Nice to be here again. Thank you very much for joining. Purire. Angelo Andrews, hey, good man, keep going, all the best. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for joining as well. I'm happy I'm useful, and I'm happy you're coming and joining. So thank you very much. Děkuji for being here for us. It's my pleasure. If this is useful, if I bring some value, and I'm happy. But guys, of course, if you're watching me here on Facebook or YouTube, please also join me on TikTok or Instagram or some other social media. I basically have everything which there is. So find me there, join me there. It shows me a great support. So it keeps me going. Thank you very much, guys. So the next topic is invitation letter. So how to get an invitation letter and what it is exactly. Basically, invitation letter is a letter issued by the foreign police saying that you will, or the inviting person will take responsibility of the invited person in terms of like finances and accommodation, and that they will cover all the related costs. So basically, if you are a non-EU citizen, for example, like Indian living in the Czech Republic, and you want to bring your family, like father and mother, to visit you for 2 weeks or for a month or something, you can do it through the invitation letter. You get an invitation letter, say, hey, I live here officially, I have enough money, I have where to live, and I want my parents to come. And then you go to the foreign police, they issue this invitation letter, and you can send it to India, and your parents will apply for a short-term visa with the purpose of invitation, and they can come visit you to the Czech Republic. So what documents do you need for the invitation letter? Basically, you need to be legally staying in the Czech Republic. So you need to have your passport, and you need to have a valid long-term visa or long-term residence permit. If you are somewhere in between, like extending your stay, usually doesn't work because you only have the bridging visa for a short amount of time. But if you're here legally, you have a long-term residence permit, employee card, student residence permit, or long-term visa, you can go for the invitation. So that's requirement number one: valid passport and valid residence permit or long-term visa. Then you need to prove that you have enough money to support the people you are inviting. Enough, there is some calculation behind that. It depends on how many days they want to spend here, and like if you take the full responsibility or just partial responsibility. So there is a calculation behind that, but you need to prove that you have enough money. Usually you prove it by a bank statement with your name showing your balance and how much money is left in your bank account. So that was the second document. Then third document you need to have is some confirmation of accommodation, that the person will have somewhere to live. So it's usually your lease agreement showing that you have somewhere to live. You don't need to really have the lease agreement in their name because you're only inviting them for like 2 weeks or something, but you need to have a valid lease agreement or proof of accommodation. Then another thing you need to get is the form for the invitation. Like until last year, it was only possible to type it in a computer at the foreign police station. So you had to go there, you had to take the number, wait in the line, and then sit behind their computer and type it in. Now it's changed, and since last October, you can do it online. So you can type all the information at home, you can print it, you will get a special 5-digit code, and then you still need to go to the foreign police, show them the form, show them all the documents. They will check it. So I'm not sure if it probably it saves some time, but I don't know. But you can do it online, or you just directly go to the foreign police and you do it there on the spot. And then the last thing you need for the invitation letter is 300 crowns administrative fee, which of course needs to be paid in the revenue stamps. So it cannot be paid by in cash or by card. You need to have the revenue stamps. And that's it. Then you submit all these, they will go through it, and if everything was all right, they will issue the letter, and you need to pick it up exactly 7 days after you submitted the application. Sometimes you can go early. We've done some invitation letters, and sometimes we picked it up after 5 days or so, but officially they claim that you need to go there exactly 7 days after you submitted it. For whatever reason, I don't know. So that was the invitation letter. Now, of course, you can get the invitation letter even now, but mainly for the nationalities which are allowed to come to the Czech Republic because of all the COVID restrictions. So if your nationality is allowed to come to the Czech Republic and apply for short-term visas, then you can also get the invitation letter. Because if they cannot come, it makes no sense to get the letter because it has a limited validity anyway. So that was the topic number 2. Now I'm looking forward to this topic because the topic is how does the processing of your application work? And that's a very funny topic because it's hard to imagine. So let's start with the situation that you applied for a visa at some embassy. Because if it's your first application, if you've never had a visa in the Czech Republic, long-term visa or long-term residence permit, you need to submit your first application through a Czech embassy. So let's say you're an American and you want to move to the Czech Republic to study university, then you have to submit your application through a Czech embassy, either in the US, or Americans have the exception that they can submit the embassy through the application through any Czech embassy. Now, people on YouTube can see me, people on Facebook couldn't, but I'm back. So Americans can submit their application through the Czech embassy in the US or any other Czech embassy in the world which accepts visa applications. So let's say you're an American, you come to Europe using your 90 days, the visa-free stay, and you want to apply for a student visa. So what you need to do is that you need to collect all the required documents, like invitation from the letter from the school that you were accepted to the studies, proof of accommodation, proof of funds, all this. Then you take the documents. You need to fly to some Czech embassy in Berlin, Vienna, Brussels, or in the US or New Delhi or somewhere. You submit all the documents to the embassy. But because the embassy is not allowed to make the decision about long-term visas or long-term residence permits, they take the documents and physically ship them to the Czech Republic, to the Ministry of the Interior. Then the decision is made at the Ministry of the Interior, and then the decision is sent back to the embassy, and the embassy contacts you to let you know about the decision, and then you go back to the embassy and you collect the visa from there, and then you can come back to the Czech Republic. So it's kind of a complicated system, and how it works is that obviously if you apply in Berlin or Vienna and they need to ship the documents physically to the Czech Republic, it's pretty swift and the delay is not long. But if you apply, for example, in New Delhi or in Australia or somewhere far away, we've seen cases where the ministry did not start working on your application for like a month because the embassy needs to collect the documents from you. Then they don't send the documents every day. Why would they do that? It would be like an unnecessary cost. So they wait until they collect a couple applications, and then they physically mail them to the Ministry of the Interior in the Czech Republic, which takes a couple days. Even if you use DHL, it's like 4 or 5 days to deliver documents internationally. And then someone at the ministry needs to sort it and send it somewhere else, because usually the decision is not made in Prague. Even if you live in Prague, if your school is in Prague, the decision is usually made in Ostrava or somewhere, so no one knows where, so you cannot influence the decision. So they also need to sort out the applications and send them to those respective offices. So sometimes it can take a very long time to get even started with your application after you submit it. So people often ask me, it's one of the reasons I want doing this live, because people often ask me why it's taking so long. I submitted the application 1 month ago and it's still not decided. Guys, 1 month is nothing for the Ministry of the Interior. If you submitted the application 1 month ago, it's very likely that the ministry have not even started working on the application. So, and that's because of this, because you submit the application at the embassy, but the embassy is not allowed to make the decision. So they need to physically mail the documents to the Czech Republic. Then in the Czech Republic, that needs to get sorted out and physically mailed to some other place where the decision will be made. So this is the main reason. If you apply for your residence permit in the Czech Republic or for extension or something, the system is similar because you, for example, go to Prague 4, to Cigánkova, to Chodov, you submit your application there, but the decision is not made there. It's not made by the person who took your application. They need to collect the document, check them, they put them in an envelope and then mail it somewhere else, either in Prague or in some other city, because that's where the decision makers are sitting. So the decision is not made at the branch where you submitted the application, but it's usually sent somewhere else. So it also takes a couple days before someone puts it in the system. Then it's assigned to some officer, the decision maker, and then before they start going through the documents and checking the application. So even if you submit the application in the Czech Republic, it can take a couple days before someone starts like even looking at the application. And then, of course, the decision makers, they don't have only one case, only your case to decide. They have like tens of cases, of hundreds of cases. So then it depends on the actual officer who's making the decision, how efficient they are and how fast they are. Sometimes they do it the way that they check 2 documents, then they need to request some information from someone else. So they request it and then they forget about your application. And the application can lie on their desk for many weeks before they even realize they started your application. So if something is or nothing is happening for a couple of weeks, it doesn't mean that the ministry is going to deny it or that they're going to approve it anytime soon. It can mean either of those things, or it can mean also that your file is just lying on someone's desk and no one is checking it because they have other work to do. So then you have a couple of options what to do: send like a polite letter asking about the status of your application, or send a very strong letter called complaint against inactivity. But I talked about it in some of my previous videos, so refer to that if you want to know more details, or of course get in touch and we'll be happy to help you with that, because we've done plenty of letters like that. Sometimes people wait like 6 months for something which should have been decided within 2 months. That's how it happens at the ministry. It's how it is. But if we usually recommend, just go with it. If you don't really need the approval like fast for some reason, some important reason, just let the ministry work on their own pace, because they don't really like if you push them. But if you need the decision fast, or if it's really been taken too long, you have some official things you can do, and especially the complaints against inactivity is a very strong thing to do. So if you need any help with that, if it's been taking too long, let me know. We'll be happy to help with that. And now let's go to the last topic of today, and then I'll leave some space for your questions if you have any questions. The last topic for now is what documents are needed for the extension of the employee card. So I was asked this question a lot as well. So here you go. Document number 1. Application form. It's the same form as you've filled in before, so it's easy. It's both in Czech and English, nothing complicated there. You need to have your passport and the current employee card. You, of course, need to submit the application before your current card expires, and you can either do it in person at the Ministry of the Interior, or you can mail it by registered mail to the ministry. Then you need to have 2 passport size photos. Even though they will be taken photo of you, you still need to submit a photo of you. Then you need to have a proof that you're still employed. So that's usually your original lease employment contract, which was signed like 2 years ago or whenever you got the employee card, plus some confirmation from your HR that you're still employed there, that you're not in the leave and notice or a probation period or whatever, and that they count with you for the future as well. Then you need to have the 2,500 administrative fee paid in the revenue stamps in Kolky, of course, and then you need to have proof of accommodation. It needs to be fresh. So if you want to use your lease agreement and it was signed some months ago or years ago, then you will also need to get some fresher proof proving that you still have somewhere to live, because the ministry doesn't believe you that you have somewhere to live. If you work here, they think that you might live somewhere in the park. So you still need to prove that you have a place to live. We generally recommend using the proof of accommodation form because it doesn't mention your rent. The signature there needs to be notarized, so there is no doubt about who signed it, which can be the case with the lease agreement where the signatures are not notarized. So it's better to use this document. So that was that were the documents needed for extension of the employee card. And now, because it's been already 20 minutes, I thought this is like 4 topics, so I'll be done in 5 minutes, but I talk a lot. So sorry for that, guys. And now is the time for your questions. So guys, thank you very much for watching. Some of you are still here. That's great. So if you have any questions, guys, feel free to ask anything about your situation or your friends. I'm asking for a friend situation. Or if you're interested in anything about me, you can ask those questions as well, even though they're usually not really interesting to anyone else. So, guys, you know me. If you will not be asking any questions, I'll be dancing for you weirdly. And I'm not really a good dancer. I'm good in many things, but dancing is not one of them. So, Swarupa Sahu, really appreciate all your help. Thank you very much. I'm happy. This is why I'm doing it. We own, with Daria, we own a company called Move to Prague, and we help foreigners move into the Czech Republic with everything they need. Finding accommodation, all types of visas or residence permits, health insurance, anything else, businesses, trade license, everything you can imagine we do for foreigners for some fees. But we also like go and live and give some additional value to people who follow us and who stay with us and who like the content. So I'm really happy that it's useful and that you come here and that you connect, because it really helps us keep going, because we know that it makes sense and that someone is interested and we're helping someone even this way, not only through the company we own and run, but also through these live streams and the free things we do. So guys, some more, let's say 1 more minute, because it's always kind of weird the last couple minutes, because I'm waiting for some questions. I cannot see if you're typing something or not, so I usually just just awkwardly stay here and try to dance, and people laugh and leave. So I'll do it now as well. So if you guys have any questions, or if you want to just tell me something about you and your case or where you're from, please feel free to do so. Otherwise, I'll be finishing the live stream in less than 1 minute. So awkward dance for you. Yeah, I don't know if someone is watching the recordings on YouTube, but if they get till the end, every time at the end they will see this dance, and you would really need to be like a feinschmecker, very very special person to watch all my dances at the end. So guys, last 30 seconds. If you have any questions regarding anything, like any type of visa, residence permit extensions, health insurance, housing, business in the Czech Republic, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'll be finishing soon. So. Yeah, I'm weird, guys. I know a lot about immigration, so that's good. But I'm also very weird. If you know me and if you follow my work here, and if you stay till the end, like you, like 3 of you watching, you know that I am very weird. So like last 10 seconds, if someone of you is typing some questions, please just like send something so I know that you're typing something. Otherwise, in 10 seconds, I'll be finishing the the live stream. And of course, guys, follow me everywhere. I'm live always every Monday and Thursday at around this time, like 5:30, 6:30, depending on the day how it goes. So I'm live on Facebook in my group Expats in CZE Help and Support Group, where I also offer free advice and like help to people needing help from the immigration perspective. I'm simultaneously live on YouTube. So if you prefer YouTube, every Monday, Thursday around this time, I'm there as well. And then I have my own TikTok. I have my own Instagram. I also have a Patreon account. If you want to support me on Patreon, then you can do it as well. And I'll be happy because you get some extra content, and especially one thing, which is a private WhatsApp group where you can ask questions all day long. Okay, and we have one question here, which is great. And Trinity from Uganda. Hi, Trinity. Nice to meet you. Thank you for joining in. My Czech ex-boyfriend was the one made me fall in love with Czech country. I'm trying to get a job there. Well, sorry to hear that it's a ex-boyfriend. Great to hear that he made you fall in love with the Czech Republic, because it's really an amazing country. Of course, we as Czechs, we love complaining about everything. Like we always complain about the weather, about the politics, about everything. But the truth is that the Czech Republic is it's a great country to live. Like we have no like natural disasters. Maybe occasionally we have like floods, but that's nothing too bad. We don't have any dangerous animals. You know, we have like one snake which if bites you, you have 24 hours to get to hospital, and if you're strong enough, like if you're young, and yeah, it will not even you even don't need to go to the hospital. Like it's like a weak viper. And we like the economics is good. Like it's very safe here. We're constantly ranked among the safest places in the world. There are no major problems here. So like I don't know, we complain about everything, but the Czech Republic is a really great country. But back to the question, sorry, trying to find a job, unfortunately it's very difficult. If you're from Uganda, and you don't have a job, it will be very difficult for you to get here. If you get in touch privately, I will be happy to send a link to a website, which is a website of the Ministry of the Labor, or at the Labor Office. And all companies which are open to hiring foreigners have to advertise their positions on this special website. So if you have a chance to find a job, it would be through this website, because that's why the website exists. It's for companies hiring foreigners, they need to advertise there. So if you want to find a job and have higher chances, then this is the place to look for a job. One thing about that, there are plenty of available jobs. There are like, I don't know, 200,000 maybe, so plenty of them. But look for the jobs where you see that there are more positions available, because if you just see that there is one position available, the company already has someone they want to hire, and they just go through this process because they have to by the law. So sometimes if you see that there is only one position, usually it's about like the position was already created for some specific person to bring them here. But if you find a job which offers like 5 positions, 10 positions, 20 positions, then it's very likely that they are really looking for someone, and that they will be happy to hire you and help you with the whole process. So this is probably the website where you have a chance to find a job. Otherwise it's very difficult, because the whole process of watch my previous videos about employee card and how long the process takes and everything, or check our blog on movetoprague.com website. It really can take, if you're from some specific country, it can take like up to a year to get you here, and usually companies are not willing to wait that long for an employee. So that's one of the main problems why companies don't really support foreigners in this. Plus employment is still pretty expensive. So smaller companies who would maybe even prefer foreigners, they might not do that, because they would need to pay more for you than if they hire a local freelancer and they work under Schwarz system, so-called. So be patient and get in touch with me privately, and I'll send you the link to or maybe I will post it here in the comments on Facebook below the video. That's the website of the Ministry of the Labor Office, and you can find jobs available for foreigners and companies which are willing to help you with the process there. And of course, if you need any assistance with the paperwork, we'll be happy to help. Trinity, thank you very much. Yeah, thank you as well. Thank you for asking the question. And now I guess I will give you 10 more seconds of awkward dancing. In my opinion, dancing, but most likely just like some I don't know, some medical issue with me. And then I'll be finishing the call or the live stream. Thank you again for joining me. Join me everywhere. Every Monday, Thursday, I'm here, and on YouTube. Randomly, I do lives on TikTok, and I start to build kind of following on TikTok. So I share videos every day about different topics from immigration, housing, health insurance. So follow me there as well. And of course, Instagram too. everywhere. If you look for young Kalina and like look for my face, shaved face though, I have a shaved photo there, then you'll find me there, and I'll be happy for your support there. Okay, so guys, if there are no other questions, I'll be finishing in like 5 seconds. So last 5 seconds to just type in something real fast, and then I'll be going. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, thank you very much for joining. This recording will be on YouTube and Facebook in the group Expats in CZE Help and Support group, and I'll post bits of it on YouTube, on TikTok and Instagram in the coming days as well. So thank you very much, guys, one more time, and have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.